let me just say I took a sigh of relief when I found out that this dude definitely not a HasanAbi head. Okay, definitely not. So that's good. Okay, this dude has an insane background. But before we get started, his name is Luigi Mangione. That's right. The person of interest that is under arrest for the United Healthcare CEO is Luigi Mangione. What are his right-wing associations? I didn't see anything wrong with what he's posted. He's like a Peter Thiel fan. He doesn't like Jordan Peterson from what I've seen. He likes Lex Friedman. He's like a right-wing podcast bro. And kind of. He follows AOC and Ezra Klein, but he also follows like I'm gonna get into it. He follows a lot of like right-wing CEOs too. It's very interesting. You are now turning on him because he's Italian. Listen, dude, listen. He is exactly the type of motherfucker that like loves Elon but hates healthcare CEOs. He's all over the place politically, okay? Which is so American. And I need you to understand this. It is the most American to be politically all over the map. No one has a well thought out, consistent, clear-eyed, ideological perspective.
Hi, I'm Diane Macedo. We are coming on the air because multiple law enforcement officials say a person of interest is now
Mamma mia!
being questioned in the New York City murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They say he's identified as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. Here's New York City Mayor Eric Adams with an update.
Thompson of United Healthcare was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America, and we were going to seek.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I felt really unsafe. Gioforio, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, my friend. Gioforio. The Italians are on a come up big time. Do you understand? Please check in on Mario, please. Yeah.
No matter where he was at the time. And so this is a strong person of interest. The police commissioner and
he's strong, all right. He's right. He's strong.
We'll go over where we are right now in the investigation. He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident. How did we do it? Good old-fashioned police work. The chief of detectives and the police commissioner made the decision to release as much of a photo that we had at the time. We sent it across the country, and someone, a McDonald's employee, did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something.
Great eyebrows, very powerful. I think that's literally what got him caught, like high key. It seems like the eyebrows is what those goddamn Italian caterpillars right there is probably what got him caught. Because honestly, people that have been in a 10-mile radius of this motherfucker were like, oh, dude, that's the eyebrow guy. So the moment that they saw those eyebrows in that taxi cab, people were like, everyone in Pennsylvania was alerted to this presence. Okay. Anyway, yeah, this motherfucker should have shaved his eyebrows and I guess that would have been hard, but that would have been hard for him to stay undercover with the shaved eyebrows.
And they did. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case. I want to now turn it over to the police commissioner of the city of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
But listen, BDS is, he went to Starbucks first, got nabbed there. Then he got caught at a McDonald's in Allentown, okay? BDS would have saved him. Get the eyebrows threaded, you know? Maybe shave it down a little bit. Do something. Turns out a mutual friend of mine, oh, this is from the Prospect, Luke Coldstein, says, turns out a mutual friend of mine went to high school with Mangione and was on the wrestling team with him, says he was a class valedictorian. He had back surgery a few months ago and went missing. No one had heard from him. Oh my God. Well, now we know what the motive is, it seems. He's an incel though? No, I've seen him with like a lot of ladies, dude. I don't think he was an incel. Well, looking at the podcast consumption, I could see him being like, you know, it seems like he was like incel adjacent on a lot of the podcasts that he was consuming, but like I don't know if I don't think this guy's an incel. I think maybe like a men's right activist lightly, but I don't think he's an incel at all. But once again, do not try to understand the mind of someone who is a political operative in the United States of America. 2 reasons for why it's not shocking to me that he is not a card-carrying leftist or whatever, but instead is this like indecipherable kind of right-wing guy. Okay, 1, he's a stem cell. Okay, no understanding of humanities, probably assumes that humanities are bad. 2, I feel as though the right is so used to the political violence and owning that space that they just kind of do violence to themselves. This is my point. My point is, this is not a left-right issue, okay? This is definitely a class issue. Turns out a mutual of mine that went to high school with Mangione and was on the wrestling team with him says he was class valedictorian. Hey, are you okay? Nobody's heard from you in months, and apparently your family's looking for you. Thinking of you in prayers every day in your name. Know you are missed and loved. Hey man, I need you to call me. I don't know if you are okay or just in a super isolated place and have no service, but I haven't heard from you in months. You're made commitments to me on my wedding, made commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly. Like I think he had to get back surgery and just like fell off the map. His Twitter header literally has spinal surgery x-rays. Luigi Mangione's Twitter header has this x-rayed as Goodreads has these books. He must have gone through some kind of personal hell with insurance. Crooked, outwitting the back pain industry and getting on the road to recovery. Back Mechanic by Dr. Stuart McGill. He gave it a 2 stars. Crooked, outwitting the back pain industry and getting on the road to recovery. He didn't like that book. Every aspect of medicine in this country still at a certain point revolves around the profit motive. It is something that does not make sense. Even if you've taken an Econ 101 course, you understand that medicine, pharmaceuticals, and any sort of like medicine in general, any sort of medical help in general, has inelastic demand. If you don't get it, you die. So you have to get it, right? So the very fact that we still use this as an opportunity to generate profits is insane to me. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people have distaste and distrust for healthcare in this country. And that's why you got the likes of RFK Jr. and so many like anti-vaccine people in America that have this kind of attitude because they see the issue with for-profit healthcare. They recognize the issue with for-profit pharmaceuticals, and it breaks their brains. And instead of recognizing that the solution to this problem is by taking the profit motive out of this, equation, a lot of people just end up, making up their own minds about this shit and despising healthcare and despising medicine even. It's a much larger problem. But I think the important part of this, the important hinge point here to address is that profit is slammed into this sector in every orifice of the sector that should not have anything to do with profit at all. And every single person has a story like the one I just told you. Every single person, because at a certain point you needed healthcare, okay? Unless you're like one of the most fortunate people on the planet, you still needed healthcare at a certain point. And when you got it, you were shocked at the bill. When you got it, you were shocked at the process where this healthcare that you paid for or that your parents paid for fucked you over. And they denied your claims. We live in a country where there is a concept of medical bankruptcy. Europeans cannot comprehend that. They're like, what do you mean medical bankruptcy? That is an insane process. And yet it's a very real process. It's a pretty shitty position overall. This is unsustainable. And anyone that tries to tell you that this is like a perfectly valid, perfectly sustainable system is insane. Also, what else? You want to know what else is insane? This motherfucker was deficit hawking at the age of 12. Luigi Mangione likes obstacle to deficit cutting, a nation on entitlements. I think the best part is that the guy was far from a recluse, yet not a single soul who knew him came forward to the authorities. Apparently, they probably recognized him immediately and were just like, I ain't giving up shit.